Hello, welcome to the Star Card Tarot. This is Karen coming with messages today. We are in Libra season, well into it, well into it. I trust it and expect that you are all doing well. The words associated with Libra, Venus ruling Libra, is harmony, beauty, and the word harmony really sticks out to me. It's that balance, that if you look at a scale or a spectrum or even a magnet, on one end there is this, one end there is that, but in the middle of it there's it's neutrality or equal, or if there was a choir of people singing, some voices might sound like this and some might sound like that and some like this, but all together it creates that beautiful sound of harmony that brings up that word collective. And I know we've all been hearing that word collective. It used to be a buzzword, but people are using it more and more in their daily vocabulary. Collective is a group of individuals moving in the same direction. Now, people might have differing views, but it's all peaceable and friendly, but still having the same objective and the same outcome. So, messages that came through, this was a couple days worth, and I waited on it and waited on it. Because at first I thought some of the messages were just for myself, and I waited, and more came through. So one of the songs that I got was Kids by MGMT. That song that goes, control yourself, take only what you need from it. You guys all know that song. It's pretty catchy. Anyway, so that song came in with a few messages ago. And I got, don't let the arrogance of man make you think we can fuck this up. Even if we blew up the surface of the world, we couldn't fuck this up. We would kill ourselves before we could actually kill this planet that we live and depend off. Human being species only have a small sliver, just like a little sliver in this measurement, of our own measurement on a graph. We are just but the smallest little sliver in time. And, that's our recordable time. We don't know what's happened back then, and we certainly don't know what is coming up in the future. So, we just have this sliver of a comparison on our record in history that we are living symbiotically with this planet Earth. We do not know our Earth Mother's rhythms, timelines, etc. What if this is all normal ongoings? People talk about, climate change, or North and South Pole melting, or, these drastic situations. Yes, we see these things, but our first thought is fear. We run to fear, rather than trusting the natural rhythms of Earth. I got, how are we so arrogant to think that we know what's going on? I hear fear and worry, and I know, because I used to participate in that energy. We are not just on Earth, we are of Earth, the same elements. Why would we doubt ourselves? We don't. Why would we doubt Earth? We shouldn't. We are her babies. We inhabit her. We are all connected. Plants, animals, humans, insects, everything. All the elements are intertwined. We are part of the whole, just as everything is a part of us. Our job is to feel good and to feel happy and receive the goodness of the earth. Receive the goodness of the universe and beyond. God, open your heart. Look with the eyes of love, adoration. Allow the earth to be. Allow yourselves to be. Coincide. Coincide with no judgment. Because see, judgment is separation. It's when you're looking at something and then you put something over here. and you put something over there, in different categories, and oh well, that means that goes over there. That's judgment is nothing but separation. Um, we are all yoked together. We coexist, we live symbiotically with everything around us. Do not buy into man-made fear. It is folly. Earth is where it's at, like right here. We've got it going on. This is the place to experience your best life. Allow it. You are everything you see. Every eyes looking at you is you acknowledging yourself. Like when you look at another set of eyes looking back at you, that's you acknowledging you, and vice versa. Then I got the word skin cells. So with our body, like with our organ, the skin, it was a nice clear example. We've got cells that are like underneath the skin or inside of us, and they grow and grow and grow, and then they reach the surface, and then they die, and then we flake it off as like dry skin cells. So it was a really good visual of us living symbiotically with the earth, and everything that is grown on the earth and inhabiting the earth. That is the magnitude of earth. I got the words keep it classy. I got breathe in air because it is you. Everything inside and out of you is you. Breathe in air. Do not struggle or force it. Do not withhold it. Let it go. Like let go and breathe. Like we are water. We are made of water. We take in water. We are air. We take in air. We are earth. We are the same molecules and elements as earth. And we are fire. We've got that spirit. I've got all of your outlandish childhood dreams and wishes are laying ground for a beautiful future. So believe in all of the things that you've birthed as a child, as an adolescent, right now. Like, believe in the you that birthed those dreams. I got the song, the same song. I wanted to go back to that song MGM, or by MGMT, that song Kids, but it was a Soul Wax remix, and I'm going to put it in the comments so if you want to click on it. But because it's a remix, that song sounds like it's on steroids. It's so like intense. But that got me into this feeling of like kids and youth, and that really brought up the image of the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, if you're not familiar with it, it's this image here. So that image came in really heavy. So I'm Six of Cups, we think about being a youth. We think about how easy it is, but we're always in patterns, right? And so if you have any discarded dreams that you feel like they're still worthwhile, think about them, talk about them. You just never know what that could lead to, right? Because everything from your youth is kind of paving the way for the future, right? Like your past or current ideas, you can still set into motion. So because we're in Libra season, I wanted to talk about my own experience with activism. So I was saying I don't watch TV, I don't watch the news, haven't for a very long time. But I wanted to relate this story, or, well, not story, but my old past and an experience that I had that was really relative to what we're speaking about. But plus, because we're in Libra season, I thought I would open up this to you. So personally, like when I was saying, I participated in this energy. I participated in the energy of trying to raise awareness and trying to, like, efforting and almost fear-based. I knew that my intentions, were good. It felt like it was coming from a place of love, but it was ego. Now, what I learned from that was, well, I was arrested with another person, and I was simply protecting water. I was, well, the person and myself, we had to face 60 armed cops who were in their armor and, in that readiness. And case in point, the whole thing got dropped, and that was, the silver lining. But what was the real good part, what I wanted to let you guys know, and what I've told others from my experience of that, is that I learned my the way I approached it. I guess if you would apply the law of attraction, it was never going to make any difference. And it would kind of keep everything in a loop. When you're saying, oh, no this or don't that, again, we know the universe is just going to give you more of this or that, right? So it was kind of futile, right? And what I learned from that was definitely lead by example, and just basically everybody doing their part. Now, we don't have jobs. I'm not saying that either. There's nowhere anywhere saying that any of us have a duty. None of us are here to save anybody. None of us are here to help anybody. We're not here to save the planet, because motherfucking Earth is going to save itself. It's survived, and it's lived, and it's been doing its thing, for we don't even know how long, right? So it's almost futile for us to think that. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be respectful, and I'm not saying that we haven't contributed to some of our existing environment, our small things. But it was just a thought of mine. Like a lot of people, I feel, are feeling like, oh, if we don't do something now, there's going to be major crisis. So I just wanted to let you know my personal feelings about that. So I feel like, again, that collective, because we're all in a time where there's so much acceptance, so much love, and so much diversity, and I feel like that's really the way to go, rather than going to this extreme or this extreme. It's that middle ground. And if we're all moving in the same direction and we're all individuals, just, it's like Libra season. It's similar. It's that harmony, right? I got our relationship with the earth, to be aware and be observant, and that's the best we can do. If we are a part of the earth and everything and no thing, like, just be aware, be observant, and naturally your relationship with it will change. You wouldn't have to work at it. You would just know and feel, what is best for you. I wanted to let you know some more personal stuff, like, and I'm really excited for the times that we're living in, and the individuals who I have on my social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, inspire me every day because they are naturally just going with their passion, and it doesn't matter how obscure, and it doesn't matter what somebody else's perspective is on them, and they continue to do what they're doing. Um, so I was going to mention I've got two people because this is so inspiring. Two people. One of the person was the first person who's trained honeybees to go and pollinate the hemp crops. That's fantastic. And we know that hemp is sustainable, da 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 da. And from that person, I've seen just within my own little Facebook or 7 degrees of separation, that person being connected with that person. This one was in Spain. This one's over here in BC, and this is growing. And, like another one, for example, is I have a friend through my Facebook who's like a real scientist, and he's been messing around with the 3D printers and things like that, and like other outstanding things. But for an example, and I've seen his test runs and prototypes because he'll post them, and he's come up with a machine, and he's just about completed it. A machine that can take waste and plastic waste and recycle it so that it could produce the 3D printing plastic, so that it could use it for other stuff, and to be able to repair its own self. You know what I mean? And this is not all about being green or eco-friendly and all that, but it was just like inspirational people that are doing something. Like, even though these two people or three people as examples are doing different things, they're still working towards one common goal. They don't all know each other, or all these other people don't all know each other, but they're still working towards that one common goal, and that's to be happy, to feel happy, to enjoy, right? So basically the point was just do it, right? And to know who you are, know who you are. Doesn't even matter what anybody's expectations of you are. Just know who you are. And I feel like there are enough of us that do realize who we truly are. Where we originate from, our physical body, our energetic body, our spiritual body, or all those things. Like that, there's so many of us now that there's a lot of support and a lot of acceptance. And I think that things can go pretty darn smooth. It doesn't have to be drastic or fear this or fear that or do something out of fear. And yes, I do feel like with all my heart, that we do need to make some changes, but it's just individual, and we can do it. And I feel like the big key is, that we're paving the way for the youth. That's always the way it is, right? And to support them and hear them and listen to them and encourage them, right? And set good examples for them. Like, personally, I want to see, I've talked about this before, I want to see if there was if somebody could have the energy and time and resources, or however, as a collective perhaps, put together a Jedi school. If there could be an idea of a Jedi school, and it could be open to the young and old or whatever, but for people to exercise their talents and gifts, whether they're the arts, the music, all that range, plus the spiritual talents and the spiritual gifts. I think that would be great, right? So that's kind of my hope for the future. But that's the thing, who knows? Maybe by saying this, maybe there's somebody out there that goes, hey, I got the time, I got the resources, I got the know-how, I got the connections, I can get that going, right? So talk about it, and don't suppress the things, don't suppress your dreams, right? Like, one of my mentors, an astrologist, he's always talking about it takes it takes everybody to make it a beautiful day, right? Like that harmony. You need all the different types, all the different kinds. We need the animals, we need the plants, we need the planets, we need the galaxies. We need everything. Like we all work together, right? So, yeah, that'd be really rad. So, I wanted to leave you with this. It was this book here called The Serpent Fire, which I found in the Alley Library. I don't know, if maybe a couple weeks to a month ago. It was published in 1959. So yeah, it's about philosophy of yoga and stuff like that. And so what I'm going to read to you isn't the yoga philosophy, but there's some stuff in here that, again, going back to that thing of like, oh, we've all heard that we are stars. And I've heard an astrotheologist speaking about stars, and how every planet is a star. It's just your perception of distance, and in relation to other planets, and how things appear. And so I know that these philosophies are from a long time ago, and I know that a lot of people have been talking about these things through the ages. But I wanted to leave you with this. I highlighted the source of all life and energy on Earth is cosmic radiation. Cosmic rays strike the atmosphere and then condense into ions or ionized particles or electricity charged atoms or ions that fill the atmosphere and finally drop them to the soil as minerals when they lose their charge. It says these ions in the air are of two types, positive and negative. And then I highlighted another part here, going further and expounding on that, saying radioactive disintegration in the stars cause emission of cosmic rays, which when they strike the Earth's atmosphere condense into ions. They are also directly absorbed by the chromosomes of the cells of the body, which convert them into vital electricity. So I'm kind of convinced, not just because of this book and years and years and years of philosophies and indoctrinations, but I am convinced, that we are everything. Everything is us. So we got this, right? We've got this. So I hope you enjoy your Libra season so far, and we'll talk later, and I hope you enjoyed.